A ranking of the worst airlines for delays in the UK has been released. Topping the list is the Spanish airline Vueling, taking off 31 minutes late on average in 2018, followed closely by other offenders including Thomas Cook, Wizz Air and Eurowings. Well, joining me now to discuss this is the travel journalist and former editor of Which Travel magazine, Jill Starley-Grainger. Jill, good to see you. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
In the grand scheme of things, apart from the fact that you and I might not be able to get on holiday on time and get onto the beach on time,
Yes.
Why do these delays matter so much?
Because it just indicates that there is a problem with certain airlines or airports that they are not dealing with very effectively. So for you and me, if you're going on a holiday and you can see that one airline is atrocious at flight delays, anytime you're affected by a delay, this either affects your holiday, it could affect knock-on flights that you're trying to get to, and this could ruin your whole holiday or business trips, of course, or plans to visit family and friends. So it's quite good to know these so you can maybe think, right, well, if this is important to me, maybe I avoid these airlines and go with the others. However, you do have to be careful because sometimes there are valid reasons.
Yeah. Do you get the sense that the airlines acknowledge and understand that there is an issue here, or is it something that they're quite happy to brush under the carpet?
I think some airlines are better at dealing with it. So in this case, for example, Vueling has said that the reason that they had such problems was because of all the French air traffic control strikes last year. And because they're based out of Barcelona, they fly primarily over French airspace. But what Vueling has done is they've taken a proactive approach and they've changed their flight routes so that in future, if these French air traffic control strikes happen, it's fine, they shouldn't be affected. So some airlines are very proactive. Other airlines, however, do what those of us in the industry call a bit of padding. So they just add on times at the end of their flight. So you may have noticed that some airlines will go, yay, we've landed, and they put on all the bells and whistles. We're on time or we're early. But if you look at the actual flight time compared to what they say their arrival time should be, that's increased over the years for no real reason. So a flight that 10 years ago might have been 1 hour, suddenly the exact same route is taking 1 hour and 10 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes. And there is a suspicion that airlines are padding these in order to avoid having to pay compensation. So they're not always arriving any earlier. They're just, they've just added on a bit of extra to give them time at the end.
In terms of compensation, I mean, how straightforward is the process? I mean, do you get the sense that airlines are finding a way to at least make people feel that they're being fobbed off in order that so they don't have to pay up?
Yes, this is one of the biggest problems. Airlines and airports are not giving people enough information when their flight delay happens about what they can do and what their rights are. Even when you ask, you're often not given correct information. So in many, many cases, if your flight is delayed by more than 3 hours from when it arrives, so it's based on arrival time, that's why they padded at the end, not departure time. If it's delayed by more than 3 hours for short haul or 4 hours long haul, 3 hours also medium haul, then you're due significant sums of compensation on top of them having to rebook you. So you would get anything from 250 to 600 euros compensation. And it's very easy to fill out the form. You just go to CAA, that's the Civil Aviation Authority, caa.co.uk/passengers, and it has all the information about this, plus a very easy form.
And just very briefly, so potential flight delays, there's also the threat of the Extinction Rebellion protests in London and elsewhere. Could it be quite a difficult summer for people wanting to get off on holiday?
Yes, but I mean, there's always something, isn't there? If it's not an Icelandic volcano, you know, it might be a sort of major airport incident in another country. So I suspect that, yes, it could be a difficult summer. So you might want to avoid certain airports where you know that these protests are planned, but it's much of a muchness. And things like the Extinction Rebellion or airport strikes by staff strikes at airports, the airlines would not be held accountable for, but that doesn't make your holiday any nicer, does it?
Okay, interesting stuff. Jill, good to talk. Thank you.
Yeah.